Debating should be as much about voice and confidence as it is about linguistic accuracy. Young students should improve their confidence to speak their mind on current affairs and philosophical ideas. And they should believe their voice is important and it's relevant. So please, keep this in mind when teaching students. Use this technique and encourage them to speak their minds.
Debate night is a competitive sport. There should always be a winner, and it's a good idea to celebrate a couple of the best performers as well.
Debates are structured in the same way as parliamentary debates in a parliamentary house. The motion is the point that is up for debate and is proposed by the proposition as the party in power. It is the opposition's job to oppose that motion.
It's important that once a motion is chosen, the proposition and the opposition teams are chosen at random. This isn't about if students agree or disagree with the motion. It's about if they can convincingly and successfully argue for or against it.
Timekeeper is that person who keeps the time and the acts. And if there are so many people, a teacher can choose a timekeeper and a chairperson, and this position is good for that people who are weaker or they weren't where the groups were divided up.
Give students some time to prepare. 15 minutes is enough to stage a successful debate, but obviously the more time you give them to prepare, the higher the quality of the debate will be.
The proposition begins with the debate, with the first speaker defining the motion and introducing what their colleagues are going to talk about, and also they can talk about their own topics.
There is then a short break before the two final speakers of each side, so the teams can decide how to approach the final arguments. At the end, the order is reversed, so the opposition goes first and the proposition goes last.
Speakers from the floor are people that when you have extra students that can't fit in your team, and they can become speakers from the floor. And what these people do is that when the other teams are discussing, they can address their points or make their own.
Each student talks 2 minutes and it's divided in 3 parts. The first part lasts 30 seconds and it's a protected time. During this time, the other students can not interrupt the one that is talking. The second part lasts 1 minute and it's an unprotected time where the other students can interrupt the one that is talking, requesting a point of information, and they can request as many points of information as they want. And the third part and the final part, it lasts 30 seconds and it's a protected time. Then the timekeeper marks the end of each period.
Points of information are where debating really gets interesting. They have to be in order and it has to be a clean fight. Speaker of the other team has to say, point of information please, and then the speaker who's talking can accept it and say go ahead, or refuse it and say no thank you. And then the speaker of the other team has to sit down. If the speaker accepts it, then the speaker of the other team has to make a question about some argument he doesn't agree with, and then he has to sit down and he can't reply. The question has to be quickly and clearly.
For new information, it can be a rebuttal, a question on your current topic, or a point of your own. It is used to weaken the other team's position, and it must be quick and relevant what the speaker is saying.
The scoring system is divided for the timekeeper, the chairman, or any other judges to use. It's easy. Give a tick for every good thing the speakers do. the team with most ticks wins.
I'm going to talk about the score system, and it consists in giving a tick. And there are some examples from like make a point of information, accept a point of information, give some examples to support this point of information, use discourse markers like in my opinion, on the contrary, and more. And at the end, the team that has more ticks wins.
You get a tip for rewarding the winner a bonus point when information is made and views are exchanged. You also get a tip for addressing or developing an argument made by another speaker, whether from your team or the other team.
Firstly, Patricia is going to talk about the problems of doing homework. Then Pab is going to talk about the disadvantages of doing homework. And finally, Arnau is going to do a summary of our principal idea. Personally, I think that homework should be done in class instead at house. Because then if students don't understand something, they are able to ask it to the teacher. Also, pupils need more time for personal life, and homework takes the majority of time, and then they aren't able to relax or practice sport which they like. Well, this section has no great expectations.
Well, this house would bring back the death penalty if the crime supposes someone's death. I mean, if the crime causes a lot of people get injured, but it doesn't cause someone's death, we will then punish the guilty person with the death penalty because
Enough information. I only want to say that not all the schools only do Christian games, and my school, for example, has got a variety of religions, and it only not says Christian, it says Islamic religions, Judaism religions, and it's very different of the things.
It's our homework. Imagine that you are
information.
Go ahead.
So you say that 6 hours is too much for study or for, and if you get a job and you have to work 8 or 9 hours, what you are going to say? No, I'm only work for 6 hours and that's all.
No. I think that 6 hours of working it's obligatory in school because it's our obligation, but we can study in our homes, but not always because we have to relax too.
Should decide if
Point of information.
okay.
But as you said, no one should have the power to decide that who is going to death. But the assassin or the murderer who kills a person, as Gemma said, kill a person, but without asking him or her if he wants to die.
Yeah, it's true, but we have to give other chance to people who is still in life. So we know that this is not fair, or that it's bad. But
and why we can decide?
You can only interrupt once.
But everybody would have another opportunity to correct themselves and to better their lives.
They're not only taught Christianism.
So, for example, here in Girona,
All religious schools teach Christianity, and the students who are not in this religion can maybe feel uncomfortable with it. And so, if we eliminate religion as a subject, then nobody will feel this way.
I'm going to say that religion is not all about God and pray. It has got a part of a moral code that if you learn it, you can be a better person in this society. As Gregory said, if you know religion, you know culture, because you know things about other parts of the world, like the things that they do, why they wear that type of clothes, and when you study, anything that you study exercises your brain, so it's easier you to study anything that you want to study. About money, some of the books that of the religion normally are not expensive, and the school normally can lend you one that is recycled, and you help the ecology too. If you have got a moral code, you are a better person, and if you are a better person, all the society is better, and you will live in a city or in a village that is very pacific.
So, as Peter said, I'm going to talk about the power of people to decide. So, I think that anybody should have the power to decide if other people will continue living or not.